By late 1950, the Korean War had taken a dramatic turn. United Nations forces, led largely by the United States, had reversed earlier defeats and were driving north after the successful landing at Incheon. Confidence was high. Many officers believed the conflict was nearly over and that troops would be home by Christmas. The advance pushed deep into North Korea, toward a remote and unforgiving region surrounding the Chosin Reservoir, known in China as Lake Changjin. It was a place of narrow mountain roads, steep ridges, and tiny villages scattered across frozen valleys. In winter, it became one of the coldest battlefields in modern warfare. Temperatures fell to nearly -40 degrees. Weapons jammed. Engines froze. Medical supplies shattered like glass. Wounded men risked freezing to death within minutes, if not sheltered. Few soldiers on either side were prepared for what was coming. What UN commanders did not fully grasp was that Chinese forces had already crossed the Yalu River in secret. Mao Zedong had committed massive numbers of troops under the name People's Volunteer Army, allowing China to deny formal involvement while fully entering the conflict. At the Chosin Reservoir, the Chinese 9th Army Group quietly moved into position. Poorly equipped but highly disciplined, many Chinese soldiers marched at night, wearing thin cotton uniforms and carrying limited rations. Their orders were simple and brutal: surround the enemy, cut supply lines, and destroy UN forces through isolation. This was not a single clash. It was a coordinated encirclement spread across mountains and frozen roads. When the attack came, it came suddenly. Chinese troops struck mostly at night, slipping through gaps in defensive lines and attacking command posts, artillery positions, and supply convoys. The darkness erased technological advantages. Radios failed. Maps became useless in snowstorms. American Marines and Army units found themselves surrounded in multiple pockets. Small hills and ridgelines became life-or-death positions. One such outpost, later known as Fox Hill, was held by a single Marine company facing repeated assaults. The defenders suffered terrible losses, but they held. The movie emphasizes mass charges, but history shows a more layered reality. Chinese forces relied heavily on infiltration, surprise, and psychological pressure. Bugles echoed across the frozen valleys. Flares lit the night sky. For many soldiers, the fear was constant and exhausting. The cold was an enemy that never stopped attacking. Frostbite crippled entire units. Men lost fingers, toes, and sometimes limbs without ever seeing combat. In some cases, cold injuries outnumbered battle wounds. One of the most enduring myths is that UN forces simply fled south in defeat. The truth is more complex. The 1st Marine Division, encircled but still cohesive, executed a fighting withdrawal that remains a case study in military history. They did not retreat in panic. They attacked their way out. Over nearly 2 weeks, Marines and soldiers moved south along a single frozen road, carrying their wounded, recovering damaged equipment, and refusing to abandon their dead. Engineers rebuilt bridges under fire. Air support delivered supplies in sub-zero conditions. By the time they reached the port of Hungnam, they had preserved their core fighting strength. Militarily, it was a withdrawal. Historically, it was a demonstration of discipline under extreme pressure. From a strategic standpoint, the battle achieved China's goal. UN forces were pushed out of North Korea, and the war shifted back toward the 38th parallel. In that sense, it was a Chinese victory, but the cost was staggering. Chinese casualties remain difficult to calculate, but estimates run into the tens of thousands. Many died not from bullets, but from exposure, starvation, and exhaustion. Some units were rendered combat ineffective by frostbite alone. UN forces also suffered heavily, particularly from cold injuries. Yet their ability to evacuate wounded soldiers and maintain unit cohesion prevented total collapse. This dual reality is often lost in simplified retellings.